Hello out there, this is Tim Stevens with SHL Today. I'm here with Marshall McPherson, who has agreed to break the silence with the media and have his first interview in well over a season. I've arranged a series of questions asking Mr. McPherson where he's been, what's going on in his life, that sort of thing. It's going to be a two-part series. It actually went longer than expected, so here we go. So, Marshall, it's a pleasure having you here. But might I ask, why the long hiatus from doing interviews? Well, Tim, it's been a hectic year. Things weren't going well in Vancouver. We ended up missing the playoffs, and with my GM duties, and league disciplinarian duties, along with everything else, training regimen, I just sort of wore myself way too thin, and it became really, really stressful. I felt overworked. I couldn't keep up with everything, and eventually you reach your boiling point and you just back out, and I ended up, just being here and not really enjoying what I was doing. And I think that was the worst part of it. The reason I play hockey is because I have a love for the game, and I had so much going on in my life at the time that it wasn't fun anymore. It seemed to be more of a chore than an actual fun way to make a living, and I started resenting it and not enjoying what I was doing. And I just, sort of kept to myself for a little while and kept with my training and just, played hockey. That's all I really wanted to do, and that's all I did was just play hockey. All right, Marshall, thoughts on the move from Vancouver to Las Vegas? What do you think? Well, as pretty much anybody on the Nightmare, or, the Kings now will tell you, I really didn't care too much for the move. I enjoyed playing in a Canadian city. Canadian fans are among the top in the world in any single sport, and I just feel that in Las Vegas we're going to be severely underappreciated, and, we're not going to have the same fans. Just the last game we played in Vancouver before we missed out on the playoffs, it was heartbreaking. The signs and the crowd, don't go, stay here, that sort of thing. They didn't want us to leave. These are fans that, show up win or lose. And Vancouver's a great city, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's a place where hockey should ever go. What about the team name, the Kings? I heard there was a little bit of disruption over that. I liked the other one that we had decided that we were going to go with, but it ended up being the Kings. We were going to go with the Aces, and I just like the way it sounded. The Kings, I don't know, just doesn't do it for me. Seems like a West Coast team to me, and some place that does, just doesn't really give a little bit of intimidation. But from what I've heard, you do enjoy the team colors. Yes. We kept most of the team colors, and that's one thing I quite enjoyed about the Vancouver Nightmare is the purple and black. I've been a fan of that since the start, and I'm glad that we've kept that in our color scheme. Although adding in red, it's not too bad, but, you can't always get what you want. Well, Marshall, it's been a long time since we asked you with the team taking shape and changing and being barely recognizable compared to last time we spoke. What do you think? What do you think of team's forwards? Well, the forward core is damn solid. We got Raycroft, Duddy, Gibson, all the guys, and it's well different. And we still got Chicklets hanging around. I don't know, he's probably 1 foot in the grave by now. Yeah, the guy's getting up there. He's been around for a while. I really would like to see him win a cup, but I think that every team wants that, and only one team's going to get it. So you got to make do with what we have, and hopefully it's enough to make our bid for the cup and get there. Well, what are the team's defense? What do you think? We got Dewey and Weird. Klute's still around. We brought in Myers. Other than that, there isn't a whole hell of a lot to say about it, I don't believe. I think that's where we're lacking is defense. It was addressed in the off season, but there's still holes. We're going to try to do the best we can. I spoke with the general managers and told them I'm not scared to face a few more shops if we want to, go all out on the attack and hopefully, score some goals. I think I'm prepared to, try to for want of a better term, pull winds out of my ass. I'm going to see what I can do for the team and hopefully get back to our winning ways that we had. So what have you been doing in all this time away from the media besides working out? Learning how to cook was one of them. I took a few courses on cooking, learned some just amazing recipes. I quite enjoy cooking for myself and for my wife, and it's just something I always appreciate. And after you sit down and, finally get to taste the food that you're preparing and you realize just how good it is, it's pretty good. And I've been having a healthier diet due to it. Eating less takeout and that when I'm on the road. I'll buy stuff. I'll go for rooms with kitchenettes now with a stove, and with any amount of hope, I managed to make a pretty decent meal. I don't like going out to restaurants too much when I'm on the road, except for steak and potatoes and that sort of thing. But I see plenty of guys going to McDonald's after a game. It's not very good for you, so I decided to change that about myself. And I get in a little bit of a what's that? The fire alarm going off. Yeah, don't worry about it. Somebody's burning something in back, as always. Oh, you got a barbecue back there, do you? Yeah, it's just outside the door. Actually, I think Jimmy is cooking some hamburgers. Well, put one on there for me, medium rare, would you? Oh, can do. So your new training regimen, how's it going along? Well, I've been just doing light workouts, is basically making sure that I don't, lose any muscle, lose any reaction timing and that sort of thing. Just making sure that all my skills are up, and it's just before you just kind of lose your drive after you get burnt out. You don't want to do anything anymore, and I think that drive's returned now with the move to Las Vegas. I want to win it, and so does everybody else in the locker room, and I'm going to work my hardest to get there. And with any amount of luck, we're going to make the playoffs. Once you make the playoffs, anything can happen. It's a whole new season. You play a bunch of games, and just depending where you get in the playoffs, as long as you get in, anything can happen. It doesn't matter if you're first seed or you just squeaked in on the bubble. It doesn't matter. Everything's erased, because in the end it's only 7 games that decides you or them, and best of 7. It doesn't matter whether you lose 3 or not. All you have to do is win the next 4. It's a long shot, but you know what? Nothing's set in stone until that last puck goes in the net, and you're eliminated. Anything can happen, and I think me and the Nightmare, Kings. Still got to get used to saying that. Me and the Kings, we're going to have a good season this year, and see what we can do. All right. How about your thoughts on the East and West? Who do you think is going to come out of the East? Toronto. No doubt Toronto. They've got a strong, deep team that's, head above everybody else. They didn't do as good as I think they wanted to last year, but I think they're going to pull out all the stops this year, and they're going to be the team to beat in the East. The West that's a little bit tougher, but I'd honestly say the Panthers, they got a good enough core that they're probably going to stick it out for another season, and they're probably going to be contenders going right into the playoffs. Can't really say much more on that, but I do think the Comets are going to surprise this year. I see nothing but good things coming from Edmonton and GM Plot. I've had issues with the guy at certain times. I got to say, he looks like he's doing well there and stockpiling some real talent, and they'll be a team to look out for in the next year or so. All right, last question, Marshall, before we cut off for break. Make a prediction. What do you think is going to shock the hell out of the SHL before the end of the season? Minnesota's not going to make the playoffs. They're going to miss it on the last day. Well, that's a pretty bold prediction there, Marshall. Well, you didn't ask for one that I thought that was going to, come true. You sort of swing for the fences, but Minnesota has been rated number 1 or 2 on pretty much everybody's list, and I'm just going to make the prediction that they just don't cut it. I have nothing against the team. I like most of their players, if not all of them. I haven't really looked at the roster that they have set forth, but you got Sawyer, Perhone, and you got Witzel. Jesus. I could go on. All these sides are great, but like we were last year, I just, I don't think they're going to make it. That's all I have to say. Well, Marshall, we look forward to talking to you tomorrow night. For now, this is Tim Stevens, SHL Today. With you tomorrow night, Marshall McPherson, again, for part 2 of the questionnaire. Have a good night, everybody.